We have done our risk assessment. We have presented the results to senior management with our recommendations. Now they choose what we want to do. And again, the only acceptable choices is mitigation, transference, acceptance, or avoidance. And as the name of this step indicates, response and mitigation. And this is where we implement all the mitigation strategies that we have chosen. This might be where we stopped issuing laptops, or we don't build the data center in the area that's prone to flooding. And we do this in very close collaboration with the risk owners and the people who own the systems that we're securing. Because if we have a remote sales staff, it might not be an option to stop issuing laptops. Maybe we need to look at the disk encryption and the remote wipe capabilities we talked about in the last chapter. And then obviously we need to update the risk register. Remember, that was that giant Excel spreadsheet that we had where all the risks go in and all the important information about each type of risk. If we implement a countermeasure, then the risk is going to be lowered. And the whole purpose of risk management is to reduce risk to an acceptable level. Now what that is, again, depends on management. But just like anything else in IT security, we have exactly enough security, no more, no less. And we have risk identification and risk assessment is our due diligence. This is where we do all the research. Risk response and risk mitigation is our due care. Now we act on all the information that we've gathered in the first two phases and we implement whatever countermeasures that senior management has chosen. Which then brings us to the fourth step, risk and control, monitoring and reporting. And it does sound a little weirdly worded, but it is both the risk and the controls we implemented that we're monitoring and reporting on. And the risk and control monitoring and reporting is an ongoing process. We keep monitoring the risk, we keep monitoring the controls we put in place to see if they're enough. Or if new risk emerges or the risk actualizes in a way we didn't expect. And if you remember back to the KRI, KPI, and KGI, this is where we'll actually use the key risk indicators. Because the threat landscape is never static. So we monitor the risks, we monitor the controls we have put in place, and then we report on it. And this is something we need to do on an ongoing basis, and we report this to management for them to make their informed decisions. And that is a lot of what you're going to be doing as an IT security manager, a CISO, IT security director, or whatever your job title is. I think in pretty much any organization that I have worked in, when you start getting to the VP level or the senior management level, they don't really understand IT, and even less IT security. And in the monitoring and controlling, this is also where we could use KPIs, key performance indicators, because we obviously need to ensure that the controls that we have in place are as efficient and as effective as they need to be. Again, we put numbers on it. And unlike regular project management using the waterfall method where we'd only be in one phase at a time, it is common to be in multiple of these phases on different types of risk management. And many places I have worked, this is something we do on an annual basis, but there are exceptions. And this also ties back to how things are done in your organization and the culture surrounding it. Most often, anything done out of cycle would be very critical things. But just understand it is an iterative process, we are never done. Alright, let's move on.